Welcome back to the Odious Soul. My name is Shannon Utz, and this video is about the roundtable discussion on principles that Adventurer had put out there. I know K-Pro had said, oh, he put it out there, you should do a video on this. I would love to see it. So K-Pro, this video is dedicated to you, okay? So my principles when it comes to the chase. Let's start back at the beginning. Almost a year ago, can you believe I haven't even been in this for a year yet? About a year ago when I started, I wanted to be fully organized, okay? So I got out, a big piece of, like a big poster board, and I started making post-it notes. Lots and lots of post-it notes on everything I could find. Just the basics of things, so that way when I thought of something or I thought this could be it, I would go back to these and just remind myself, okay, does my solve meet this criteria? So first we're going to go through all these little notes, and then I've added some over the year. Okay, so number one, it's located above 5,000 feet and below 10,200 feet. That's very important, okay? Can't forget that one. It's at least 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe, okay? That's also important. It's somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. Also very important. It's either in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, or New Mexico. It's nowhere else, just in one of those 4 states. Where warm water's hot is not a dam. However, it's very important to realize where warm water's hot could be the body of water that accumulates right before a dam. Had that conversation with one of my fellow searchers, and I did argue the point that it could be the lake or the water before it, so just keep that in mind. There isn't a human trail in very close proximity to where he hid the treasure. All right, that's another very good thing. It's not like right on the edge of a well-known trail. So something else to keep in mind. The chest and contents weigh 42 to 44 pounds. Don't know if that helps with principles, but just a reminder of how you're going to get it in and out of there. The blaze is one single object. Not necessary to move large rocks or climb up and or down a steep precipice. Not in a house. Not associated with a structure. However, I will throw in there that I'm still mixed. I know Fen told Cynthia something, but I don't completely rule out structures in the clues. I will always consider them. However, if I do consider them, I look at the longevity of them. And what I mean by longevity is if the clue is pointing you to something like Mount Rushmore, and yes, I know Mount Rushmore is not in the search area, that's why I'm pointing out Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore is not going anywhere anytime soon, okay? It's going to take a really big explosion to get rid of Mount Rushmore. However, if it's like a log cabin, that can be moved, burn up in a fire, be torn down at any time. So that's not really, doesn't really have the longevity. So I look at the object itself and I figure, could this still be here in 100 or 1,000 years? So that's something that I do consider. And I keep my mind open to possibilities, but I try not to use structures. But if something is there, then I can't rule it out until I rule it out. So, all right, not in a mine, tunnel, or cave. And this is another one where if I got to my search area and I saw a cave, I would totally look in the cave. I will never go in a mine or tunnel, but I've only ever heard Fen speak mine or tunnel. I haven't heard him verbally speak cave. So I am still flexible on the cave part, but only, at the very end, if it happens to be there. I would go crazy if I didn't check it out, just saying. Not under a man-made object. Not in a graveyard, but that doesn't mean it's not somewhere where people did die and are buried. It just means it's not in a formal graveyard with headstones and stuff. Some place where Fen plotted to have his bones rest forever. The chest is 10 by 10 by 5 and made of bronze. He made 2 trips to his car in several hours. The blaze can be found during the day without a flashlight. It's not near the Rio Grande River. Don't go anywhere an 80-year-old man couldn't go carrying a heavy backpack or something heavy, period. 9 clues in the poem in consecutive order. I do believe that you followed the clues like little places on a map, just like the Goonies did. Okay, so I do believe it's that kind of treasure hunt. It's not underwater, but it is wet, so you got to think about that too, or it's probably wet. And he traveled less than 3 miles total, or a few, while holding the treasure. So, what else do I got? Let's see here. Okay, I believe the treasure is within a mile from where a person can legally park a car in the month of August. I know he said a few. I personally try to only stay within about a mile of where you can park a car. I believe stanzas 1, 5, and 6 are placed for legal precedent and hint to the correct location. I believe stanzas 2, 3, and 4 contain the 9 clues. I believe punctuation only matters in controlling the flow of the poem, not hinting towards the clues. I love you, Sean. I believe it is hidden or concealed by natural objects and not buried like in the dirt, okay? So what do I mean by that? I believe there is a possibility that Fenn used tree branches, pine branches, rocks, stones, things to cover it. And even if he didn't do that, I think 8, 9 years out in nature, it's going to be covered with something. Whether you're in a desert, whether you're in the mountains, believe me, something is covering up that treasure. So I don't think you're going to go into a clearing and just see this magnificent bronze chest on the top of a rock and you're going to have this moment. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to have to uncover it just because nature is cruel to us that way. I don't believe Brown is a person, but I am not opposed to looking at all options. If I am in the canyon down and I go far but not too far to walk and there is a person's name, house, whatever, with Brown, I'm going to consider it. But I'm going to be really hard on myself to even think about it. I'm going to be like, Shannon, what are you doing? Stop thinking that way. That's not right. I believe you can figure out the first 4 clues from home and possibly the next 4. I believe you have to be boots on the ground to understand and identify what the blaze is. And I believe down is an elevation. Yep. Put in below, I will say that I try to find something that creates a flow to the poem to give you direction. So I'm not necessarily always considering below as an elevation, but maybe more past it. Like I know you've heard me talk about rivers. If it is a river, put in below something means after the flow. And of course it's probably lower in elevation because that's how rivers work, right? But just saying. Okay, so that is the basic principles. Everything else is kind of still very fluid and flexible in movement. I will say that I don't roll too much out. I look at everything and I overanalyze it. Yes, I have my favorite places, but that does not keep me from evaluating, analyzing, and overthinking and overcomplicating and going down rabbit holes in other places because you never know where one of those rabbit holes will take you to. You know, but at the same time, I still think you need to have your foundation. And then just kind of bungee cord off of it every once in a while. So thank you for watching. I would love to know your opinion on what are your principles. You can either leave it in the comment below or create your own video. Be sure to put it as roundtable principles, thrill the chase, I guess. And if you like this, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button now. Lots of fun stuff coming up. So take care, have a good one, and see you soon.